Actually, this is something funny. This was one of my favorite all-time movies, Joker 1. Imagine this. Whenever they announced the sequel and they told me that Lady Gaga was in it, nothing against Lady Gaga, actually good performer, good voice and so on, but as soon as I knew that she was there and they wanted to make a sequel of that movie, I immediately bailed out with my mind. I didn't even consider going to the movies to see Joker 2. Never even considered it. Like I immediately thought it was going to be shit. How can you follow up on a movie that was almost quite clearly a standalone? You know what I mean? Like it was meant to be like this. At the end of Joker, you ask yourself the question, was it real? Was it not real? And blah, blah, blah. And also, you had the answers that you wanted, meaning he became like this because society brought him to be like that. And you had your answer and you saw his downfall into craziness. Perfect. Over. And for you, it at least for me, there was no need for a second one. So whenever they announced it, I immediately thought to myself, cash grabbing movie, probably trash. And they put a female character only because they had to. And that's it. And I have no idea what the movie even looks like. I just know it's bad. And I knew it before they even announced it, that it would have been bad to have a Joker too.
More like Joker Folia Doo-Doo. Joker 2 is getting some pretty bad reviews.
Of course.
So here's another one. Normally, I don't look at reviews before I see something I plan to make a quickie on. I don't like my opinion being manipulated. But this one was kind of hard to avoid. Finding someone who actually likes this movie is like trying to find a shiny Pokemon while playing Fortnite. But even so, I tried going into this with an open mind. And I did see that it wasn't as bad as I expected. I mean, the opening scene was pretty good. But that's it, folks. That's all I got. After watching Joker 1, a movie that I liked when I saw it, I was hoping that any sequels would take this version of the character in a different direction. But when I saw the trailer, I thought, okay, it's not just going to be entirely set in Arkham, right?
And brother, I hate musical. And it's a musical. Holy.
And yeah, I'm sorry. This movie is literally only set in two places, Arkham and the courthouse. As such, the film's entire purpose is to remind us what happened in Joker 1. Most of the scenes are of Joker reflecting on what he did in the first movie, or having other characters in the courtroom tell him what he did in the first movie. And the scenes that aren't revolving around that are just featuring the Joker and Harley singing old licensed music. And personally, I'm not against musicals like some people are. I like musicals. If the music is good. Musicals work when the songs cleverly reveal to the audience what the characters are thinking and feeling. We might get insight that we didn't have before. And when the characters are singing original songs, we get to hear good music that we haven't heard before. But none of that is on display here. Joker and Harley only sing when we know exactly how they feel, and they only sing about exactly how they're feeling. On top of that, they only sing songs that we've already heard before. Out of the dozen or so songs we hear, I think one was a Gaga original. I don't get anything out of a movie where the characters are just fucking around and singing show tunes. There's really no narrative benefit to having Joker and Harley sing like 10 songs about how much they fucking like each other. When I heard that this movie was going to be a musical, I was actually pretty interested because that sounded like a unique, fun idea. But the songs do not do anything to enhance the storyline at all. That's really all the movie is. Joker's sad.
People don't see Lady Gaga as a sex symbol, but I'm telling you, she's quite hot.
Harley shows up, and then they sing a song about being in love. And that happens like 6 times, and then the movie ends. It might be the laziest way to create a Joker and Harley story. And I like that the first Joker movie had a lot of moving parts in it. It wasn't just, look at this guy, isn't he crazy? The film kept you engaged with varying story beats that converge into a decently serviceable ending. Yeah, it took a lot of those parts from other more successful and better movies, but to me it was clearly paying homage. I don't subscribe to the idea that it's just ripping off Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy. I mean, the main actor from those movies is a main character of the film, so to me, it's clearly an homage, so I don't mind it as much. But when you get to this movie, you're left with what Todd Phillips can make when he doesn't have anything to reference. You're left with what the original movie could have been if it didn't have anything going for it. A movie that only serves to show us, wow, look at this guy. Isn't he crazy? I think every film enjoyer such as myself has had an experience where you watched a movie in a theater, a film that was probably a little high concept, but you liked it anyway. And when you walk out of the theater, you hear the normal movie-going audience reaction, and they don't get it like you do, which is fine. But you might hear someone say this phrase, "What was even the point of that movie?" And I hate this sentence. It is one of my least favorite sentences in the English language. Right next to "What are we doing for dinner?" And of course, there's also,
"An ally has been slain."
What's the point of anything you watch? To entertain you, educate you, show you something unique and transformative? Saying, "What's the point of this?" is such a generic and empty way to say, I didn't get that movie, so it must be the movie's fault. I hate that phrase so fucking much. So it really takes a lot for me to admit that when I walked out of Joker 2, I said, what was even the fucking point of that movie? It shows us nothing new about the character. It introduces us to a Harley who we've seen better iterations of in just about every film or show featuring her, and it literally only serves to remind us of what happened in the last movie. The ending is just a backhanded attempt to keep things in line with the regular DC universe, but it's done in a way that will probably just offend most people. It is very, very difficult to enjoy this movie. It's not funny bad, it's not even mildly entertaining, it's just really...
I have to admit though, like in the first movie, you see, for me the first movie was really one of the best movies because he, first of all, not a musical, second of all, he behaved in a way that you could feel his downfall into madness, right? And the scene where he takes out the gun and shoots the guy during, in front of the live audience and everything in front of the camera, the energy that it conveys with that scene probably got him the Oscar, right? And the thing is, it was well done and well written. Like the dude, you can clearly see going. First of all, before he enters, there is the scene where he's smoking a cigarette in the background, and then he gets announced. He comes in and he just acts like they wanted him to act, and the whole thing carried a lot of drama, right? And then, of course, like the scene where he's there, everybody's making fun of him. He just confesses to the crime, then takes out the gun and shoots him. That's like a moment, and you knew that this was going to happen in a way or another. Not exactly like that, but And the thing is that in this way, if you do another movie about it, it has to carry the same emotional distress, or it has to carry the same concept behind it. Maybe you can put him as the leader of the rebel group who's now trying to maybe free him up from the jail. Like it has to continue along those lines. If you do a completely different movie and that movie is not focusing anymore on anything that is dramatic, even though the first movie was extremely dramatic, the audience will just leave because it was not meant for that type of audience. It was not meant for the musical audience or the guys who just wanted to see like a regular okay movie. They wanted to see something extremely dramatic of a person who lost everything, who became crazy because society brought him to do so.
Boring. If you've seen a trailer for this film, you probably get the idea. You can skip it.
Yeah,
the performances are decent. Gaga
I skip it for that reason.
Well, but that's it. The actual content of the narrative is so bad that I cannot fathom watching this movie again. For me, the worst kind of superhero movie is one where it's not even bad enough for me to make a worst superhero movies video. Thanks for wasting my time, Todd. So 3 out of 10. Go see Transformers instead. Yeah, guess what, baby? This is a double quickie. But I don't have a lot to say about Transformers, and I didn't even put it in the thumbnail or the title.
Okay, no, Transformers, I haven't seen it. I have no intention to see it. But damn, Joker... Joker was a great movie, one of the best movies ever, and then Joker 2 just destroyed that. And most likely, people will forget about it in 20 years, right? And they will probably remember Joker. Maybe, maybe not, but I fucking hope so, because the second one was clearly terrible, and people just never went to see it. And I think I heard that there were people. I mean, this is what I heard, that there were people opening the cinema to see Joker 2. So had like on that hour on that day, like two times in the morning and in the afternoon, or twice in the afternoon, and nobody showed up. Nobody showed up to see the movie. That's crazy. Nobody. And I think he has only grossed 38 million so far, which is low for having Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga in it. Why destroying that the first movie? I really don't understand. Anyway,